Paul Heyman's not playing around when it comes to his safety. And that became crystal clear during an intense and unexpected moment that unfolded in San Diego, the kind of moment that proves even the most seasoned veterans of the wrestling world can be thrown off when the unexpected happens. It all began as Heyman was making his way through a crowded exit area after WWE Survivor Series War Games, a night already charged with energy, chaos, celebration, and the kind of electric atmosphere that only WWE can produce. Fans had been roaring for hours inside the arena, watching match after match unfold with the usual insanity WWE promises. And by the end of the evening, the air outside was thick with excitement as fans tried to catch even a split-second glimpse of their favorite stars leaving the building. Among the biggest names that night were Logan Paul, the social media star turned professional wrestler who has surprisingly and impressively carved his space in the WWE universe, and Paul Heyman, the iconic WWE manager and former executive known for his razor-sharp mind, unfiltered persona, and zero-tolerance attitude toward anything that disrupts his world. Heyman walked ahead of Paul, surrounded by police officers and security personnel who were forming a tight perimeter. As they moved through a sea of fans pressing against barricades, holding up their phones, shouting names, hoping to touch a hand, get a signature, or just capture a fleeting moment with someone they watched week after week on TV. It was late, and the energy outside the arena hadn't died down. In fact, it felt almost as intense as the matches fans had just watched. People rushed forward each time a wrestler walked by, calling out, chanting, screaming, pushing, some excited, some emotional, some starstruck, and all of them eager. And Heyman, who has spent decades walking through crowds, airports, parking lots, locker rooms, and high-pressure situations, carried himself with the same guarded awareness that has kept him safe throughout his long career. But then it happened. Out of nowhere, a fan, small, young, and clearly overwhelmed with excitement, slipped through the crowd and pushed between two security members. His timing was perfect, almost too perfect. He darted forward with the kind of reckless enthusiasm only a child or a teenager would have. The kind that comes from watching someone you admire from afar, and suddenly seeing them inches away in real life. And maybe in his mind, it was harmless. Maybe he just wanted to get close, maybe he wanted to say hi. Maybe he thought he'd get a selfie or a handshake or a smile. But to Paul Heyman, who was not expecting anyone to breach that tightly formed wall of bodies, it was a threat, or at the very least, a shock he did not have time to analyze. Security reacted, but Heyman reacted faster, without hesitation. Without even looking long enough to understand who the fan was or how old he might be, Heyman shoved him away, a firm, instinctive, defensive push that sent the young fans stumbling back outside the security perimeter. The moment was quick but intense. There was no softening, no pause, no attempt to register that this was just a kid. It was pure instinct. The instinct of someone who has spent their entire professional life moving through crowds, where intentions are unpredictable, where one moment of hesitation can lead to injury, chaos, or far worse. The fans seemed stunned, not expecting that kind of reaction. The crowd around them gasped, phones shot upward, and the scene was immediately captured from multiple angles. People shouted, some in surprise, some in concern, others in confusion. But Heyman didn't break stride. He didn't look back. He didn't say a word. His job was to move forward, and he kept moving. Eyes forward, body tense, energy sharp, walking like a man who understands that in his world, hesitating could cost him more than public criticism. It was unclear in the video whether Heyman even realized the fan was young. In the chaos and tight movement of the moment, the only thing visible to him was motion. Someone rushing forward unexpectedly, someone getting too close, someone breaching the controlled space. And considering the environment, the noise, the adrenaline, the cluster of security bodies around him, there was no time for nuance, analysis, or gentle assessment. He simply reacted in the way someone with decades of crowd control experience would react when startled, decisively, forcefully, and without giving anyone the opportunity to get even closer. Witnesses say the shove was harsh, but Heyman didn't appear angry, just protective, alert, and on edge in the way someone is when they believe they might be in danger, even for a split second. Those who know Heyman know he is extremely aware of personal space, extremely conscious of his environment, and extremely protective of the wrestlers he works with. And on this night, he wasn't just protecting himself, he was walking directly ahead of Logan Paul, a figure who attracts massive crowds, passionate fans, loud reactions, and a significant amount of unpredictability everywhere he goes. And, of course, Logan Paul had just finished a major moment in his WWE storyline. Logan and his team, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar had just won the War Games match in spectacular, high-octane fashion. Fans were buzzing from the unexpected alliances, brutal moves, and the reveal that Heyman had slipped Logan a pair of brass knuckles mid-match. It was a moment straight out of the classic Heyman playbook, calculated, quick, and controversial, yet undeniably effective. Logan used the brass knuckles to land a decisive blow, turning the momentum and ultimately helping secure the win for his team. After the victory, Logan and the team celebrated with roaring energy, the kind that fills the arena with the sense that something big has shifted. They posed, shouted, embraced, and basked in the chaos of triumph. Heyman stood with them, proud and calculating, like a chess master watching another carefully executed strategy unfold exactly as he intended. So leaving the arena afterward, emotions were high, tensions were tight, and adrenaline was still pumping through everyone involved. That context matters. When a crowd recognizes a winning wrestler walking out with one of the most polarizing figures in wrestling history, Paul Heyman, emotions escalate. The crowd presses closer, voices get louder, and every second becomes more unpredictable. And in those environments, security teams operate with precision. They watch angles, body movements, hand placements, distances. They anticipate. They prepare. They expect anything, but one thing they didn't expect was a child slipping through the cracks. To be fair to the young fan, it's easy to imagine what he was feeling. To him, this might have been a once-in-a-lifetime moment. The kind of moment you brag about to your friends for years. I saw Logan Paul up close. I met Paul Heyman. I got to walk right up to them. And perhaps he didn't understand the seriousness of a security perimeter, or the risks associated with breaking through it. Kids don't always think about consequences. They think about moments. They think about excitement. They act before analyzing. And this one action, spontaneous, reckless, enthusiastic, was met with a response he likely never expected. The video circulating online has sparked mixed reactions. Some fans argue Heyman was simply doing what anyone in his position would do, reacting instinctively to someone rushing up to him. Others believe the shove was too harsh, given the fan's age. But what's undeniable is that the moment happened fast, too fast for calm decision-making. We've reached out to Heyman for comment, but so far, there's been no response. And honestly, anyone who knows Heyman knows he may never respond. Speaking on it could imply regret or responsibility. And Heyman rarely gives the public anything he doesn't want to give. He is, after all, a master storyteller. A man who understands narrative control better than almost anyone in wrestling. If he wants to address it, he will. If he doesn't, he won't, and perhaps part of him knows this will blow over. WWE fans are accustomed to drama, both scripted and unscripted. Moments like this create conversations, debates, online threads, and viral clips. But they also fade quicker than people expect. Especially when another headline hits, another match is announced, another storyline twists. Another wrestler shocks the world.